My name is Jenna Carter, and I'm 29. I've been married to Daniel for 3 years. Our marriage wasn't perfect, but it was comfortable, peaceful, even until his mother, Camila, started inserting herself into our lives. Camila had a special talent for making everything about her, often at my expense, but her latest move would outshine all her previous meddling. It began on a cold New Year's Eve. Daniel wanted to host a party at our house. I wasn't thrilled, but I agreed. I spent the entire day decorating, preparing snacks, and making sure every detail was perfect. I wanted the night to be special for the right reasons. Then Camila arrived. She swept in like she owned the place, trailed by a cluster of friends who radiated wealth and superiority. Her sharp eyes scanned the room before landing on me. "Oh, Jen," she said, her voice laced with sarcasm, "you've really outdone yourself. It's quaint." I forced a polite smile, refusing to let her get under my skin, but as the night went on, her remarks became sharper. She criticized the food, the music, even my dress. Every comment felt like a tiny stab, but I held my tongue and kept moving, determined not to ruin the party. What I didn't realize at first was that Camila's insults weren't random. She was performing for an audience. Over the clink of wine glasses and bursts of laughter, I overheard her planting quiet seeds of doubt. "She's not what I imagined for Daniel," she whispered to a friend, "just loud enough for me to hear. She doesn't have the grace to represent our family." Her friends murmured in agreement, their eyes following me as if they were evaluating a piece of furniture that didn't belong. By midnight, I felt like a guest in my own home. The laughter seemed sharper, the whispers louder, and Camila's presence hovered over me like a storm. That's when I realized this wasn't just a holiday gathering, it was an ambush, carefully staged to make me the outsider in my own marriage. Camila's friends were all too eager to play along, laughing at her jabs and adding their own subtle digs. Near the dining table, I overheard her whispering to Hannah, her closest confidant. "Daniel's always been too soft-hearted," Camila murmured. "He lets her run the house, but she doesn't know the first thing about responsibility. She's just ordinary." Hannah tilted her head, her voice dripping with pity. "Poor Daniel. He deserves someone who can actually match his potential." I dug my nails into my palms, the sharp sting the only thing keeping me grounded. Camila wasn't just being cruel, she was crafting a story, one where I was the unworthy wife and she the noble matriarch. The night reached its breaking point when Camila gathered her friends in the living room for a toast. "Ladies," she said, raising her glass high, "here's to another year of prosperity, family, and resilience." Her eyes found mine, and a slow, calculated smile curved her lips, because, let's face it, not everyone is cut out for the pressures of family life. Laughter erupted, my cheeks burned, but I stayed rooted in place. Daniel lingered at the edge of the room, pale and silent, offering me no defense. Camila wasn't finished. "Sometimes," she said lightly, "you have to ask yourself if certain people really belong, like weeds in a garden. You have to pull them before they ruin everything." The glasses clinked, more laughter. Something inside me snapped. I felt anger, humiliation, and a cold, hard clarity settle over me. Without a word, I excused myself and slipped upstairs, leaving their laughter echoing behind me. In the bathroom, I gripped the sink and stared into the mirror. My reflection looked exhausted, humiliated, but underneath the hurt, a flicker of resolve sparked. This wasn't the life I'd imagined when I married Daniel. I had bent over backwards to win his mother's approval, and nothing was ever enough. That night, I decided one thing with absolute certainty. I was done letting Camila control my life. Daniel paced the living room, his irritation simmering. "This is getting out of hand, Jenna," he said. "You need to fix this." I looked up from my laptop, stunned. "I need to fix this? Camila is the one spreading lies and turning people against me." He dragged a hand through his hair, exasperated. "She's my mother. What do you expect me to do, cut her out of my life?" "I expect you to stand up for me," I said, my voice calm but firm. "Tell her this isn't okay. Tell her she can't keep treating me like this." He hesitated, that familiar flicker of indecision crossing his face, the same weakness that had let Camila control him for years. I realized then I couldn't keep waiting for him to change. That weekend, Camila escalated. She hosted a lunch with her friends, using it as a stage to tarnish my name. One of them, Amanda, even called me directly. "Jenna," she said smugly, "Camila only wants what's best for her family. Maybe you should be more accommodating." I gripped the phone, anger thrumming in my chest. "With all due respect, Amanda, you don't know the full story and it's none of your business." "Oh, but it is," she replied. "Camila is a dear friend, and it's awful to see her so hurt." I hung up, hands trembling. Camila had made this public, and I knew I couldn't let it continue. That night, I began gathering evidence, screenshots of her posts, voicemails, harassing texts from her friends. If she wanted a battle, I'd fight with the truth. By morning, I had a meeting with Sarah Reed, a lawyer specializing in harassment and defamation. I laid out everything Camila had done, from the insults to her latest smear campaign. "This is a textbook case of harassment," Sarah said. "We'll start with a cease and desist. If she refuses, we'll escalate." Relief washed over me. For the first time, I felt in control. That evening, I faced Daniel. He'd been avoiding the topic, but I refused to let it slide. "I spoke to a lawyer," I said. His eyes widened. "A lawyer? Jenna, are you serious?" "Completely," I said. "Your mother has crossed every line. This ends now." He leaned back, shaking his head. "This will only make things worse." "No, Daniel," I said, steady. "What's worse is you refusing to stand up to her. If you won't, I will." He fell silent, and I knew then I didn't need his permission anymore. The next day, Sarah sent the letter. I expected Camila to ignore it, but instead she called Daniel in a fury. He put her on speaker. "She's suing me, after everything I've done for her," she shrieked. I spoke calmly. "No, Camila, I'm asking you to stop. If you do, this ends here." Her silence on the line spoke volumes. For the first time, Camila had nothing to say. A few days later, Sarah messaged me. Camila had agreed to comply with the cease and desist order. It didn't undo the damage, but it was a start, a small victory in a war I hadn't wanted to fight. The peace didn't last. A week later, Camila found a new way to retaliate this time. She made it personal. One afternoon, I pulled into the driveway after running errands and froze. Camila's car was parked at the curb. My stomach tightened as I approached the front door. Inside, she was sitting in the living room like she owned the place, arms crossed, eyes sharp with contempt. "How did you get in?" I asked, my voice low and taut. "Daniel let me in," she said coolly, cutting a glance toward my husband. He lingered in the kitchen doorway, his shoulders tight. "We need to talk." "I don't think we have anything to discuss," I said, dropping my bag onto the counter. "You've already been warned to stay out of my life." Camila rose to her feet, small but commanding, her voice sharp enough to slice. "You're tearing this family apart, Jenna. Your selfishness is ruining Daniel's life, and I won't stand for it." Her words hit like a slap, but I didn't flinch. "This isn't about family or selfishness," I said steadily. "This is about boundaries you keep crossing." She scoffed. "Respect you? You've done nothing to earn it." "I don't need to earn it," I shot back. "Respect is basic decency, something you refuse to give." Camila's face flushed crimson. "I've had enough of this. You think you can push me out of Daniel's life? I've been here long before you, and I'll be here long after." I inhaled deeply, refusing to let her venom seep in. "You're welcome in Daniel's life, Camila, but if you want to be part of mine, you'll need to start treating me with respect." Her glare hardened. She turned to Daniel, waiting for him to rescue her. "Are you really going to let her talk to me like this?" For a long moment, he didn't speak. Then, softly but firmly, he said, "Mom, maybe you should go. This is getting out of hand." The disbelief in her eyes cut deeper than any words. Without replying, she snatched up her purse and stormed out, the door rattling in her wake. The silence she left behind felt heavy. Daniel finally looked at me, shame clouding his face. "I should have done more," he said quietly. "You still can," I replied. My voice was calm, but unyielding. "But you need to decide whose side you're on.